My name is Albert Williams. I'm from South Africa. I've been in the energy engineering field for 20 years now. I've got 10 AEE certifications, including the CM, the CA, CMVP, and the CIEP as well. I've got some qualifications from the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, in terms of energy system specific topics like compressed air systems, pump systems, steam systems, motor systems. And I've trained a lot of these topics over many years in many different countries for first language English people, second language, third language, all around different shapes and sizes. Well, participants will learn a lot of detail about certain of these topics. If we look at some of the other training courses, for instance, the Certified Energy Manager training course, very excellent training course covering all of the topics with regards to energy engineering, but the CIEP takes some of these training topics and goes into much more detail on this. So that is sort of the niche market of the CIEP, is to go into this high level of detail to try to differentiate the participants to become more or less experts in a lot of the different types of heavy industrial energy topics. So people who will benefit from this CIEP training course or the Certified Industrial Energy Professional training course are really people working in the field, the majority. So if you are working in pump systems, turbines, industrial refrigeration systems, these are the guys on the ground will get the maximum benefit from this training course. Although it's not only for people in the field, you can be from academia, maintenance personnel, operators, facilities managers. As long as you are hands-on involved with more deeply going into these topics, I think that's going to be quite beneficial for participants. I would say there's maybe sometimes a misconception about how attractive energy savings can be. If you look at the news or at the media, they're always focusing on the supply side, getting cleaner energy, electrification, decarbonization. While that's all valuable, I think there's a misconception on how much energy savings are available. So I've done quite a lot of audits in many of these energy system topics, and the savings are astounding. Typically, what I find is 30%, 40% energy savings, especially when I look at compressed air pump, fan and steam systems. The return or the payback on these projects are extremely attractive. Sometimes it's a few days, sometimes it will be maybe a 1 or 2 year, or if you talk about IRR, internal rate of return, it can be more than 100%. So extremely attractive projects, and you don't really realize how deep we can go into these topics until you attend this training course. Let's take compressed air, for example. A lot of compressed air auditors will look at leakages, and that's where they will stop. But there are quite a lot of extra opportunities, like how to control the compressors. Different compressors control differently. How do you size your dryers? How to size your pipes? What is the impact of small pipes? What about receiver tanks? How should you size receiver tanks? There's such a wealth of topics that we don't discuss in the other energy training courses because we do not have enough time for that. But now we do have 2, 3, 4 hours to go into quite a lot of detail on these topics. So the practical available savings, attractive feasibility, that's a differentiating feature. What excites me the most is the practical application. We've got very nice pictures, a lot of nice case studies coming from real life examples from many different people from many different countries. So I think the hands-on approach, the visual images, that's what excites the people. Also a very nice thing we have in this training course is a lot of stated energy savings. So we've got a list of about 250 energy opportunities. We call that the cheat sheet of opportunities that you can have a look at. A lot of that is going to be low-hanging fruit opportunities. And another thing that makes me exciting is we've got a wealth of sample exam questions. Something like 270 sample exam questions to prepare our participants. When they walk into the exam, they are much more confident. They've seen everything they can expect in the exam. So hopefully we get better exam results in this course as well. Look, there are advantages to have a broad spectrum of skills. That's what the CM is focusing on. but at a certain point we need to have more specialized focus in some of these training topics. So while I see myself sometimes as a jack of all trades, and there's a lot of advantages to that, I do get into situations where specialized requirements are needed. So you might work with some people where they work on steam systems, but they might not go into that level of detail. So it's sort of a very nice combination between getting very specialized in some aspects. So I think that's going to be the advantage there. I feel participants will be equipped by going into a facility and knowing what they are looking at. You might have participants, maybe younger engineers, working on the facility and not really knowing the difference between a motor or a furnace or a kiln. So now you've got this little bit of a more practical approach. You can go into a site, you can ask intelligent questions. You are much more equipped to see opportunities much more quickly. So that is an exciting feature. We are empowering our participants to carry more weight, more professionalism, and to connect with your clients better. Ultimately, we want to make a sale, we want to implement projects, we want to make energy savings.